This is Dolany TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel tonight. Glad to have you aboard for it, as of course a slower news day in Oilers land. Still the repercussions of Evander Kane calling out Mr. Michael Bunting after diving last night. We could discuss that. We could discuss the John Tavares situation with the slash against Vinny Desharnais, but that was well summed up over on the Oilers Fanatic by Patrick this afternoon. So what I want to discuss with you is a situation that's going to come to a head a lot quicker than I think any of us wanted to because of the phenomenal play of Evan Bouchard. The man is without a contract next year, and obviously 2 weeks ago we would have said, man, fire this guy to the moon for some reason. Like half the fan base was ready to just kick him off the team, just similar to Darnell Nurse. And now all of a sudden, since Tyson Barrie left, he has been a point per game and has looked absolutely stellar on the right side of Mattias Ekholm. But before we get there, friends, if you're new to the channel, what I want you to do is consider hitting that subscribe button. And I will say this, somebody did actually make a good point. If you're already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for being here. You know, I really appreciate that. But I do the subscribe at the beginning of the video because if you don't ask, you don't get. It's the law of sales, it's the law of nature, and that's where we're at right now, friends, just to sum up the housekeeping notes. But Evan Bouchard, who has been phenomenal this year in stretches, I guess you could say, and he is having another phenomenal stretch. We look back at that incredible game he had against the New York Rangers earlier in the season. We thought, man, that's where Evan Bouchard's going to explode. And then it kind of all spiraled downwards for Evan Bouchard for a while after that. But to just sum it up, first off, we should probably look at the stats where Bouchard year in, year out has started improving here at the NHL level. Obviously, way back in 18-19, that forgettable season, he scored his first career goal in the 7 games he played on his ELC. Then he played 14 in 2021, came up and was a little bit of an impact player there, putting up 5 points, really only skating for 14.5 minutes a night, so it's not like he was really out there getting a whole bunch of ice time. And then last year was a phenomenal year for Evan Bouchard, who came onto his own, 43 points, 81 games played, playing alongside Duncan Keith for the majority of the season. It was really great to see Evan Bouchard finally start to emerge as that legit shooting and passing threat we all know he was when we drafted him. However, this year things have kind of dipped down, and we look no further than the shooting percentage on that column right there about middle of your screen under the tab shots, where it says, well, 3%, resulting in 4 goals on 134 shots this year. Even if you bump that up to 4.55, it's either 6 or 7 goals. So it's not a drastic difference in terms of the amount of goals he's going to score this year. But for Evan Bouchard, if he can get up to 6, 7 goals on the year and obviously keep piling up the assists, he's been on an absolute tear, putting up assists since Tyson Barrie left, and most of it hasn't been on the power play as far as I can look at, as Evan Bouchard's put up a lot of even strength assists as well since Tyson Barrie left. And you look to the ice time is down to 18:01 this year compared to the 19:48 he was rocking last year, although that looks like it will probably start climbing a bit more now with the power play time and secondary two being a full-time second pair guy again this year alongside Duncan Keith. So we'll see what that happens, because Broberg and Bouchard were a pair for quite a few games there. I think at the beginning of January, if I remember correctly, that was a really good third pair we had going there. That's when Broberg was on that little bit of a heater for 3-4 games, and now the defense is kind of shook out a different way. But that's just to kind of summarize what Evan Bouchard's been doing, and I guess to sum up his last 5 games as well. You look at this here. He has had a total of 6 points in his last 5 games. Like I said, point per game since Tyson Barrie left. And obviously 2 assists, so 1 goal, 5 assists in that stretch. He's been playing anywhere between 19:08 to 24-25 minutes against the Toronto Maple Leafs in that game that we lost last night. So he's been coming to a head here in terms of really stepping into his full role at the NHL level. And this year too, he's really been a driver for the Corsi for percentage, up 5 points from last year, 5.5 points actually, to 59.8%. So the team is controlling the play with Evan Bouchard on the ice, and obviously we know that has really stepped up since the play of Mattias Ekholm entered the Edmonton Oilers realm. But really it comes down to, for Evan Bouchard, what is that next contract going to look like? Because We'll go take a look quickly at Darnell Nurse's contract history. That's something I want you to take a quick look at before we get too far into talking about Mr. Evan Bouchard, because I think some people talking about potentially locking up Broberg to an Oscar Klefbom-esque contract. It's going to be a costly contract to sign a guy like Evan Bouchard. Right now for Darnell Nurse, $3.2 million against the cap was his bridge deal there from 1819 to 1920, 3.2. So for Evan Bouchard, is that a range you would want to try and settle into? I'm not sure, but right now he's on that 8663 deal, and guess what? He's also an RFA at the end of the year. And not, I guess what I'm saying is the Oilers really, really have to get something out of him here in terms of a good deal. But the problem too in the situation is that the Oilers don't have the cap to do it next year, right? That's where they have to find some defensive cost savings. And everybody would say, oh, just trade Darnell Nurse. Much easier said than done. I think with this Oilers defense coming up the way it is, a cost-effective defenseman like Brett Kulak would be a good option to trade out at this point. Move on from him. I don't know how you move on from Cody Ceci, considering you're looking at Evan Bouchard being your solid second pair D-man alongside Matthias Ekholm, probably your top pair D-man alongside Matthias Ekholm next year if that pairing really continues to emerge down the stretch, leaving Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci as your second pair. I really don't know how you suit the defense, and I guess maybe the playoffs will tell us how you do that. But at current for Evan Bouchard, to look at that next contract, you know it minimum starts with a 3, but already next year we have against the cap, projected cap hit $75 million in the cap. If it only increases $1 million, we have $8 million, $8.5 million to play with. And you've got inside Evan Bouchard, Ryan McLeod, Klim Kostin, and 2 of Derek Ryan, Matthias Janmark, Devin Shore, and Nick Bukestad. So you've got 5 guys for $8.5 million, plus if you want to add anything to the roster. It is a tough sell for us Edmonton Oilers fans to see how you fit that all under the cap, as the whole trek here that's began this crazy thing that's happened on Dollar TV since the beginning of December is I started it all back with a video entitled "The Oilers Are in Big Trouble," and it was simply saying, I don't know how moving forward, if we win the Stanley Cup or contend for the Cup or we're in the final this year, how we even get close to repeating it next year based on our salary cap issues if the salary cap is only going to go up $1 million. However, there's a ton of hearsay in the space that no, the $1 million is the safe bet, but there is much more talk about it going up $3, $4, $4.5 million here at the end of the season. So if that is indeed the plan for the cap to go up $4.5 million, we could definitely see this Oilers team give that extension to Evan Bouchard and be just fine at all. Pretty much all that extra cap space goes to Evan Bouchard, and you've only got 4 or 5 guys to sign, and you've got a 2-3 year deal for Evan Bouchard that's going to allow us to continually contend over the rest of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl's time. And I guess how much is Evan Bouchard willing to be a part of that whole situation, or is he going to try and hold out and chase the money? Didn't work so well for some past Oilers, and obviously I don't know if it's going to work well for the Oilers this time around, but we'll find out what happens here. Again, the question for you is how soon is too soon to lock up Evan Bouchard based on his current play. It's been an absolute tear he's on. 6 points in 5 games since Tyson Barrie left, taking over and absolutely stepping up. You see those stats, right? He's gone from pretty much having a pretty meaningless season on the back end for an offensive defenseman to now 27 points in 67 games. Just some quick math there for you. 27 divided by 67 times 82 divided by 67 times 82, on pace for 33 points in the season. Do you think Evan Bouchard's only going to finish with 33 points? I think he probably finishes pretty dang close to 40 and then has a pretty good playoffs as well. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dollar TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, like I said off the top of the video, if you've enjoyed, please consider subscribing and sticking around for more. And with that, friends, I'll leave this to you. If you enjoyed the video as well and you're a returning subscriber, the way you can help me tonight, just simply hit that like button and come back tomorrow for the next offering as we talk one more day to the Ottawa Senators game on Tuesday. I'm up on out of here.